on March 23rd, you had issued an emergency order for 2 Indiana coal plants, NIPSCO and Duke Energy. One of those, NIPSCO, is in my district. And at that time, you made a statement that the Americans deserve all the power that they can get when the sun isn't shining and the wind isn't blowing. Your quote, unquote. Ultimately, my district and my residents of Northwest Indiana are paying the highest energy rates in all of the country. And that specifically, a third party generated a news report saying it would cost NIPSCO $100 million in order to put that coal plant back online. My question to you is, because you just said, if you get energy policy wrong, you get everything wrong. Please communicate to my residents in Northwest Indiana how forcing a coal plant to stay open when a utility chose in 2019 to close it, now the ratepayers have to pay the infrastructure in order to make that useful in my district as they are being crushed and devastated currently. And you had mentioned domestic manufacturing. Northwest Indiana is the top steel producing region in the country. Those utility rates go into the cost of steel, which go into the cost of everything we produce. Please explain why that forced emergency order is benefiting the people who are getting crushed by those policies.
You bet. So first of all, thank you for the question, Representative Mrvan. So in your region, northern MISO, it is 5-alarm fire, quoting the reliability study that was done for, are the lights going to stay on when advanced power demand hits there or not? So I received what
do you mean by advanced power?
If I misspoke if I said advanced power, but if we don't add additional power,
correct,
the risk of blackouts is very high in the northern MISO region. And so let me give you a very nearby plant that was
asking a specific question. How do you justify those rate increases and the $100 million price tag to your emergency order?
So the cost of blackouts is immeasurable. The cost of unreliable power is massive. And
why have we not experienced that in the last 40 years that I've been alive?
You haven't experienced blackouts?
Consistent blackouts in the Midwest and Northwest Indiana? To answer your question directly, no. So I can't buy into that.
Which is also why there's a complacency there that we're all good. The risk of blackouts.
If I could, they were going to replace it with natural gas. So explain to me how the natural gas policy, instead of using coal, would increase blackouts.
So presumably the 5-0. Sorry, my blood sugar's low right now. The authorities we've used.
There's a Gatorade. Go ahead, and we'll reclaim my time. I'm being respectful, obviously. Take your time, obviously.
202C authorities we've used have always been in dialogue with the utility there. I was criticized. The very first one we did was the Campbell plant in Southwest Michigan. Same things. It's expensive.
I really need a direct answer. I've got a minute and 24.
The 17 megawatts of coal, 17 gigawatts of coal we've kept open. I don't know the details of every single one, but I can absolutely get them quickly.
The other question that I have is the Federal Emergency Regulatory Commission authorized MISO to impose a tariff that would allow NIPSCO to seek IURC approval to recover cost of complying with the federal orders through rate increases, a NIPSCO spokesperson said. This is a communication. So you ordered a tariff that would allow my ratepayers to pay more based on your energy policy.
No, it's to keep the grid reliable and ultimately to drive prices down. This is one person and one claim. On most of the 202Cs we've done, they've been cooperative with utilities. Some of them, like the Campbell plant, which we did a while ago, so I have plenty of data on, all the same claims were made. The claims were proved to be absolutely false.
As you can understand.
I don't know that they're false here. They might
I don't
likely
have much
false.
of concern of Campbell. I'm Northwest Indiana and the impact currently that you have. And as you stated, if you get
I don't
energy
believe that's
policy wrong, everything is wrong. And it's a national security issue because of our steel industry. So what I'm asking for in my time is to reconsider to consider the impact that your policies have on my ratepayers going forward. You instituted a MISO that allows the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission to impose a tariff that would have the ratepayers cover the cost of the infrastructure to increase the coal-fired generating plant that they closed. That's a fact.
28 states have done renewable portfolio standards and have forced the closure of coal plants. They have 50% higher electricity prices on average than the 22 states that didn't do that.
But my state didn't do that.
The data of forcing the closure of coal plants has been compelling across the country. If you
My
force the
state and my
closure
Republican
of coal
governors
plants.
didn't do that.
I need to dig into the details of that. There should have been a dialogue, and I suspect there was a dialogue between
what
our
you're-
staff and that thing.
Are
I will
you
look into this.
committing to relooking at that emergency order
100%.
to reverse it if those costs are passed on to my ratepayers?
If it's not net beneficial to your ratepayers in the region, of
I'm
course
telling
we will
you, it
reverse
is not net beneficial to my ratepayers. And please look into it.
Absolutely, we'll look into it.
Thank
Absolutely.
you very much.
No, thank you for raising it.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.